All right, everyone, welcome back to BRAP's, another BRAP rant. It's Sunday morning, and I have a stacked guest panel here today to discuss video games. And by the way, I don't know if everyone heard the intro music. Hopefully it played. Sometimes it doesn't because Streamlabs acts up every once in a while. Or as Optimus Code would say, it's because we have a bot in the house.
Jesus.
He did say. That was pretty
Jesus
funny.
Jesus H. Christ.
Code was silent as we were just having a conversation in Discord, and then he found his opportunity to make a bot comment, which I thought was the timing of it was impeccable. But Optimus
timing
Code,
is everything when it comes to
timing's everything. Optimus Code, welcome back to BRAP, sir. How are you today?
What up, man? Look here. I'm sitting here on a Sunday morning. I'm looking through my PlayStation game collection on my PS5. It says I have installed 47 games on my fancy 2 terabyte super lightning blazing fast SSD. I look here in the storage stats for my console internal SSD, and all of the space is available because all of my games are playing from the expanded SSD, nice and fast. I mean, no 8-second delay. It's just so incredible out here in these gaming streets, man. How y'all doing today?
It's a great plug for PlayStation 5 beta. Code, I'm happy to hear that you were able to figure out the screwdriver thing, because apparently that's really thrown a lot of people off and trying to figure out how to install.
Guess what else I did? I bought a drive without a heatsink, and I unplugged it. I installed it and played it, and I'm still playing it without the heatsink.
Oh, okay.
Living on the edge, baby.
Yeah, you're living on the
brave
edge.
man,
He's
sir.
heat-sinking. He's going to build a rocket next. He's going to
I'm
space.
not no brave man. This junk is a fallacy. I'm not brave at all. My PS5 is just fine. It's not no bravery at all.
Just don't call Sony if something goes wrong.
Next
Ain't gonna
week,
help you.
Optimus Code's going to have a video. My PlayStation 5 melted.
And Sony never said they wouldn't cover your PS5, sir. They said they're not responsible for third-party gear. That's it. Stop with
You put a third party drive in there, didn't you?
Yeah, and they're not responsible for the drive, not the console itself.
Like I said, good luck. I wish you the best, sir. I said I wasn't gonna do no SSD talk today, when we was talking in the DM, so I'm not gonna go back and forth with
We ain't got to do SSD talk. Let's just talk about, did Sony say that they will not cover your console?
They said they're not responsible for what happens.
They did not. Stop. Why would you tell that lie? Where did they say that?
They actually didn't say that.
They did not say that. They said we're not responsible for the drive you select or its performance or any third party gear.
What happens? What is the language around?
Real quick.
Let's
do this.
There is no language around that.
Hey,
that means they're not covering you.
Code, Everboard. Let's
let's look at the Game Pass language where Microsoft says.
Why we talking about Sony right now? You say bots do that all the time. We're focused on this SSD.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna be consistent with
SSDs.
the message. That's what we're gonna do.
All right, real quick before we get to, I want to get to the introductions here. We got that by the way, countering Optimus Code's point, it's gentleman known as Everborn Saga. Ever, welcome back to BRAP, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, see, I notice I have been diving into the dirt recently more than I usually like to. So I'm gonna try to pare it back a little bit. I'm just gonna push back on Hyperbole. That's all I'm gonna do.
Oh my goodness! All right, so and then we also have live from the Grindhouse, Jez 77. What's up, Jez?
Yo, what's up, man? First time on the BRAP show, and it's a rant. Yeah, I'm ready, baby. So, this SSD stuff. I don't know why people are shook about this thing and reading fine print and stuff like that, but I'm very excited about the topics and happy to be here. You know, it's been a long time. I listen to the show a lot, and coming live from the Grindhouse, man. Sunday morning, let's go. I got 2 cups of coffee. I'm gonna start putting amaretto on here if we still talk about SSD some more.
All right. No, the SSD thing again. That was kind of interesting, and I said this on Crossfire yesterday. I think the point that the thing that disappointed me with the SSD talk, and I told you, Code, I'm not holding back anymore, man.
Facts. Don't. People
because you know what?
I'm tired. Sony said they not gonna cover it. That's a lie.
Like I'm tired. First of all, like I said this all Crossfire. I'm tired of. Look, I get if you're an Xbox centric podcast, whatever. Fine, so be it. Cool, great. But let's stop with the hyperbole and the oh my god, the SSD are so hard to install. Soccer moms can't figure it out. Like how many times in our lives? And I said this all Crossfire. How many times in our lives have we done things, built things that we've never done before? We figured it out. We have YouTube. Whoa. We have Google. Look, this summer. Wait, let me finish my point here. This summer, go ahead. This summer, my wife and I put up an above ground pool that has a pump mechanism, and this thing is really, you gotta chlorinate the water. You gotta and you know what? Yeah. I've never done anything like that in my life. But you know what? We figured it out. We read the directions.
No, you didn't. You had to take
YouTube, TikTok.
No,
I didn't. You had to go to Best Buy and let them do it for you.
No, I didn't.
Okay, but Brad, did you have to call your grandmother to install the pool?
Oh, damn.
Honestly, real like about the difficulty.
And we're not sending our mothers to Walmart to buy us SSDs either.
That was hilarious.
That was crazy.
Are you doing SSD talk or not? Because
no. I don't want to do. I don't want to do SSD talk. I'm just saying anybody making issues about it being too difficult. It is only more difficult in relation to the Xbox solution. It is not difficult.
Right.
That's it. That's the end of the conversation.
Yeah,
exactly.
Both easy. Just the Xbox solution is easier.
Yes, exactly.
That is all.
Yeah, that's it. One.
Anyway, anybody talking about bricking your goddamn consoles or anything like that? If you survive the 360 era, then you should have a thick skin right now. So I have a thick skin as to console failures and all this other stuff and doing things. Like, you went through that 360 with the Red Ring of Death. I went through 4 Xboxes, like 5. I don't even know. I even went through. Even power supplies went out, man. When I heard lightning was coming, I would go unplug my Xbox like a nutcase because I knew that thing turns off. It's getting the error code, and I'm going to send it back to Phil Spencer or at the time Don Matrick. Donnie D will fix it for me.
Yes, I ain't gonna. It was impossible to live without a 360, right? Like you had to have a 360.
But
my 360 blew up because of NBA 2K right before what is that game? Oblivion, not Oblivion. What is it? The Elder Scrolls, the first Elder Scrolls game, Oblivion, right? When that first came out, that's right when my 360 got the Red Ring of Death, like 3 months in.
That Joker made your Xbox 360 run hot, man. I remember.
That NBA was crazy.
I only had to go through one. Like I got one Red Ring of Death, and I sent it in, but I couldn't wait for them to send it back. I bought another one anyway.
Same happened to me.
And I haven't had a problem since then. And it was like I guess it was luck, but I only had to deal with it one time. But there was no way I was living without a 360 back then.
Exactly, dude. But I'm saying, if you went through console failure like that, we're nowhere near that with any of this stuff. But also, too, like, bricking console. Everybody's like, it's bricked. You could dude, no, the 360 was a brick. Like that was done, man. It'll flash and you're done with that. There's no flashing or anything like that. But I'm just saying, it gives you thick skin to be like, all right, consoles are failing. Like this whole thing with this SSD, I don't understand from a side that talks about options, and Phil Spencer's giving you every option to play a game on a goddamn toilet bowl, that when Sony is given options and an open market for an SSD, that is bad, but proprietary drives are good. Proprietary drives are convenience, but you pay for that convenience.
Yes!
That convenience is on there. And then just look at the 360 era, you look at that hard drive, it was a 5400 RPM hard drive that was stuck in that proprietary case.
Yes, hold on. We got to get the offering plate and pass it around, bro, to make sure we can pay for this sermon because we might not have enough, bro. Go ahead, break it down.
But I'm just saying, like, there was a proprietary 360 drive that you overpaid for, but it was in a specific case, and that was so it could clip on the top. But the thing is, the proprietary has a convenience, but it's also you are limited, and also that you are probably going to pay more for less because of that convenience and that stuff. But where an open market M.2 drive, that is a great way. And what's funny is that Sony, of all goddamn companies, this is not a Sony washing their balls that early in the morning, but Sony, of all companies with proprietary drives and proprietary media, of all, they are the ones that are given an open market M.2 drive. They dealt with the Sony stick, the Vita cards. Like, they know what proprietary is, and we know that.
They learn it from their previous mistakes. Absolutely.
So real quick, I'm going to grab this super chat from X Burke with the $10 Canadian super chat. Thank you for that. It says, good day, everyone. It's time to find any misconstrued morsel in Phil's words. Friendly reminder, Hellblade 2, Outer Worlds 2, Starfield, Indiana Jones, Perfect Dark, Fable Avowed.
Indiana Jones get lumped.
I mean, okay. We haven't seen Indiana Jones. Outer Worlds isn't on the same level.
They're assuming it's exclusive, I guess.
These bots is out of control. They're nervous. We ain't even saying nothing yet.
They got a list. They got a list. And this is why I roll my goddamn eyes when they just show lists of games, because now it's like, there's the list we're going to hear for the next 4 years. Show us the games and stop the talk.
Right. I got another game to add to that list. Scalebound.
Oh, boy. Oh, not like that. Look, so this is what I said. This is what I said to you. This is what I said to you earlier, or last night, Cole, where I'm throwing down the gloves. Xberg, I know your mindset. I used to make those lists. You know, when the first Fable came out on the OG Xbox, it was Project. I forget what it was called. Project something. You know, and I'd have these lists. Oh, we're getting Jet Set Radio. Reckless is our GTA. You know, we're getting Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball is exclusive. We're getting, you know, all these games, right? We're getting Blinks. Blinks is going to be like Mario. Remember Blinks the Time Sweeper? The cat?
I remember Blinks.
I used to cap.
I like Blinks.
Before that game came out, I was capping hard on the game and the GameSpot forum, saying that game was going to be the next.
I did too. On Blinks, man. I liked it.
I did like Blinks. It's going to be it was going to be the Mario Killer, you know, and then there was Voodoo Vince, and you know, like all these games came out. Oh, then there was Phantom Dust, you know, and I capped for all those games, and they were terrible. Don't cap for stuff that hasn't come out yet. Just don't do it, Expert.
That's why I said Scalebound was on the list just like that one.
Yeah, stop doing that.
Awesome too.
Yeah, we haven't seen.
Don't mean jack.
Yeah, we haven't seen Starfield. We haven't even seen Idiot. What are we doing here, people? Like, it blows my mind. I'm tired of. I tell you, Code. I'm not being polite anymore,
Enrique,
man.
I hear you, Enrique, but see, here's the thing. There was a time with Microsoft when lists like that would mean something because they had a really good track record. Yeah. And when they said that stuff, you could believe it. But with the whole Crackdown 3 thing, in my opinion anyway, for me, it's different for different people, of course. But for me, the whole Crackdown 3 thing started me losing confidence.
Slow-mo backslap has a great comment there.
Don't you interrupt me for slow-mo, man. I'll slap you.
Jesus.
Just trying to show the man slow-mo.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He filled in for me yesterday on the gaming circle.
Damn.
Put some respect on that man's name.
Guys, let me
get Slow-mo in here. Why ain't he here anyway?
Yeah, Slow-mo, hop in here. I don't know.
Yeah, why is he chatting instead of joining the conversation?
I know. Slow-mo,
Slow-mo says, so lists were okay when PS gamers were listing them off, but now it's not okay? What's wrong with the roadmap?
Didn't I just say that there was a time when Microsoft had credibility? See how bots don't listen?
Yeah. Early in the Xbox One.
It's not a matter of one person can do it and one person can't. It is a matter of who has earned the benefit of the doubt and who has not.
They don't have the benefit of the doubt with you.
They don't have the benefit of the doubt.
You don't dictate for everybody what they should be excited about and what they shouldn't.
No, wait.
When did I say somebody should be excited about something? I'm giving my take on gaming.
Can't make a list. Make a list all you want.
I said no. When did I say that?
He didn't say you can't make a list. He didn't say that.
Rewind the tape. When did I say that?
He didn't say that.
Go to the instant replay, BRAP. What did he say?
No, I said Scalebound was on the list just like that once. That Microsoft with Crackdown 3, and I started to explain for you cut in, interrupted. I was able to get out. There was a time with Microsoft when they had credibility because they was delivering on content. And right around Crackdown 3 is when they started to fall off with that whole thing because they would make promises and Crackdown 3 is coming out. Okay, well, we need to push it back. Okay, it'll be out for sure. Okay, we need to push it back because we wanted to deliver all of the cloud power destructibility, and they pushed it back. How long? 6 years? They pushed it back, 3 times? Finally, we got it, and it was nothing like what they said.
It was
Phil
really
Spencer
bad.
Doing all these tours, talking about, he's seen it, he's played it, the game was going to be so excited. then the whole scale bound thing. And I am talking about, Everborn, that when you have a reputation for not delivering, you start to lose credibility with the people you are not delivering to. And if you did have credibility, then of course those lists make a lot more sense from that person. And so it's not just in a vacuum. One company has can make a list and another company can't. That is an infantile way of viewing it. What we're doing is we're examining each organization and we're looking at who do we believe, who don't we believe, based on their track record, not based on hyperbole. Like I told you in Kay Asante, I have a lot of confidence in the coalition. I have a lot of confidence in Playground. But ask me about some of these other studios, they haven't earned that. They haven't proven that. So why would I just give a blanket statement to everybody? Absolutely not, sir.
That's a great point, Optimus Code. Real quick, gentlemen, I do want to grab some more super chats here. We have Replicant with the $5 pound. Thank you for that, sir. It says, being an OG Xbox Live beta tester, installing an SSD should pose no problems for BRAP. This is true. I was an OG Xbox Live beta tester.
He hooked up his whole network. Remember, you had to hook up a high. Remember, you needed you couldn't do modems. You had to do a whole.
In our college dorm, we had the cords running throughout the halls.
Oh, I believe it.
Do it when the RA wasn't around because he was a hater. He wouldn't let us do that. Run the course talking about some fire hazard bullshit. But we just had to look at his class schedule, and then we would set up the 16-player matches. It was great.
That's awesome. I got Noriko with the $20 super chat. Thank you for that super chat, Noriko. Appreciate it. And we have Smokes901 with the $70 czar. He says, let's be honest, the links these fanboys go to get a W is sickening. These dudes never changed light bulbs before. Shaking my head. Swapping SSD may not be a simple one step, but it's easy. F out of here with this stuff. So thank you for that, Smokes901.
Okay, Smoke, that's a good point. But here's the thing, right? So we, on this panel, we messing around with each other, and it may sound like contentious, but it's, in my opinion, anyway, it's all in fun, right? If I don't know if you've ever played sports before, if you ever played basketball, we would go to the court, and people that you rode to the court with, y'all came in the same car. If y'all on different teams, people be thinking y'all finna fight out there on the court. But it's just trash talking. Yeah. After the game is over, you back friends again. Like it doesn't mean anything, right? So there is that. But then there are some people, though, who are legitimately intimidated by taking off the side panels. And for those people, like, we have to accommodate that this could be a thing where they will have some concern that they might mess it up or they might ruin something. Given that the PS5 is extremely hard to get, given that if you do have one, you most likely only have one, it is not unreasonable to think that some people will be very cautious about opening it up.
Oh, and absolutely.
Then what my concern, though, is when you have people that are spreading lies about a Sony warranty violation that doesn't exist. When people say Sony said they not covering this if they brick your console, which doesn't exist. None of these things have ever been said. That type of stuff only makes those people that are legitimately concerned, it only makes them even more afraid. And now that they are really put off by something that's no big deal, and it's in beta, it's not even for them yet. There will be a list of recommended drives that the average person, the average consumer will not have to deal with. So in this conversation, Smokes, we really only talking about the beta testers who should know how to do this stuff, or they really wouldn't be in a beta program. But there is a legitimate concern for after the beta, people may find this intimidating, and they have a right to feel that way.
Hey, Code, I wanna agree with you right there. Like, I don't put my main Xbox in any beta programs, and I'm not joining the Sony beta, not because like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. It is exactly for why you said, if anything goes wrong, I cannot just go and buy one. Even if Sony will replace it, you're not getting that for months.
You're gonna be without it for a minute.
So personally, I'm not putting the drive in until it's out of beta and it's one that is officially, like, I don't know if they're gonna do a certification process or whatever, but to me, it's not out yet until that happens.
See, that's why coming out of the Xbox 360 boot camp and learning, I always buy two consoles at launch. for that reason if one bricks. So I always put 2 Xbox One.
I hear that, man.
This generation is so hard to do that.
I got the other one right there. That's coming from, and also to the 360, we ripped off the front face plates, and nobody went crazy about that either. So you can pull the sides off the PS5 as well. But you're right, there might be people.
A face plate, I would change depending on what game I was playing.
Dude, I had the custom one where like it was the cheapest ass shit. I bought it from GameStop. It was like a plastic sleeve, but you could print out your own kind of custom template and put it inside the sleeve. So like I was printing out all these special ones. Like, and back then the DPI and goddamn printers was like trash. So like it looked horrible. It looked like just piece of paper in front of my Xbox.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like, there are people that might be going, what? The sides come off of this thing? That's where I got to put this thing. I'm not dealing with it. So obviously there is some sort of like, once this thing becomes, a problem, because right now, like you said, it's hard to find these and it's hard to, to even, this is more of like a convenience down the line, especially when there's more games that solely run on that and take advantage of that SSD. PS5 only games. Right now we're playing games that get PS5 updates, but also PS4 games that haven't made the PS5 jump yet. So you could run those off an external one. But yeah, as this goes on, I expect to have a PS like identified PS5, identified SSD, but the whole process of doing it, definitely the Xbox One is an easier one, and the convenience factor there. But we'll see again.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, gentlemen, I want to make a proper introduction to someone here. No stranger to the show, a regular panel member on BRAP. We have Double Kill, Triple Kill, Slow-Mo. What's up, Slow-Mo? Slow-Mo, are you there?
What up, Slow?
Hey, Slow-Mo, shout out for doxing my KD ratio in the Halo beta on yesterday's show.
I was using the wrong microphone. My bad. What's up? What's
you
up?
Like that intro, Slow-Mo? You like that?
I love that intro.
That's how you roll.
I wasn't doxing you. I was just like, I was
that
watching
was my
the
first
gameplay.
round. It was my first round.
It was against
Halo.
It was against ODST bots.
I hear you,
I haven't played Halo in 20 years, and you should have been bodying them, okay? You being at the bottom of the board trying to figure out what's up and what's down was not a good look, man.
Oh, man.
K Asante recorded a game we did, and that was my first round, and I was trash at it. I'm not going to lie. That's what happened.
Oh man, look,
not like this.
I'm glad you were able to get into his backpack like Dora, right? Because he was carrying
like
Dora.
Yo, has anybody tried the Halo thing on Waze? That Halo skin that you could put on Waze?
Oh, I heard about that. No, I haven't tried it yet. Even though I use
yesterday.
Waze every time I go into work.
It's freaking awesome. It is so awesome. Like, you could do Master Chief's voice, or you could do, I forget what it is. I think it's one of the brutes, but like the Master Chief voice I did.
Left turn.
My was a warthog, right? And I was like, what is this thing? And I'm like, roll my eyes. I'm like, what is this? I put this on to try it out. Dude, it is like, it's hilarious because like there's a stalled car and it's like, and then you have Master Chief's voice. He's like, there's caution ahead. Eyes up. It might be a trap. And that's what he says.
That's pretty funny.
You drive it, and then he goes,
that's
take
pretty
the
cool.
exit now. He's like, finish the fight. Or something like, and then when you get to your destination, he goes like this. He goes, it's like, we've reached our destination. Let me know the next time you need me. I'll just call for me if you need anything, or something like that. And it is like,
I gotta try.
That's actually pretty cool.
That would make
Waze. I normally mute it. Because it'd be like, cause I'll be listening to a podcast or I'm listening to music, and then it'll like interject in and be like, "Your turn is coming."
You feel like you're on a mission. It is. I'm telling you, like it takes. And people know, like I roll my eyes sometimes with some of the things they do, like the Xbox donut and all this other stuff. But I gotta tell you, this thing was pretty damn awesome. Like I was like smiling, going, "Yo, this is pretty damn cool." Like it's like it may be a trap, and it just for him to come through your thing and just to say that, you feel like you're in the game or something.
I can't try that because then I'll start speeding. Like that is not
the voiceovers are so cool. Like I thought it was just gonna be like him just saying the same stuff your GPS will do, but when he's like, "It's a trap. Call me if you need me." Like, stay the course and stuff like that. Like it's pretty cool.
Funny.
I got it. Pretty awesome.
So, but before I got on, like, let me clarify some things for our pony brethren over here, Code. Right. So Code said that like what I said before, yada 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 about lists. Like, I what I want to say here is that when I first jumped on, listened to your stream to the rant, all I heard was Enrique talking about lists, and I guess you were talking about Xbox guys bringing up lists.
Someone actually super chatted a list of Xbox games, which is why I responded like that. Yeah.
Okay, so what I recall years ago when I first got into this gaming community, first started getting on to Scumcast, my first time doing anything podcast related. This is like 4 years ago. What I recall is every second that a Xbox person said that, hey, I like Xbox, there was some pony that would come out of nowhere with a list of all the games that were exclusive to PlayStation that Xbox wouldn't touch. And then majority of that list turned out to not be completely factual because they turned out to be timed exclusives, because a lot of games like Nier Automata and Hellblade were on those lists. But it's funny to me to see people now on the other side have lists of games that they look forward to, and me listening to known ponies for years talk about, well, all we want from Xbox is a roadmap. They gotta provide a roadmap. Let your Xbox gamers feel some kind of something to look forward to. Now they provide something to look forward to, and now that's not good. That seems like some goalpost moving to me.
Well, it's on both sides, though, because at the same time those lists for the PlayStation were doing, Xbox fans were talking about exclusives, and exclusives are the best thing, and then all exclusives didn't matter anymore, but now they do again. So, like, that's why the people are going to go back and forth. There's no consistency on anybody if you want to go with that. But Xbox did have those games.
But I don't think Xbox has no roadmap, just because we know
that's what I say, Optimus, about the roadmap stuff. Like, I would say roadmap stuff, like, I like that we know what they're working on, because that was the question for the last couple of years. A roadmap, though, would be more of giving us, like, a window of when these are going to come out.
Exactly.
That's what I would like. You know how Disney does their roadmap of, like 2019, and at least it's something to grasp onto. When you just announce a game and we have there's no season, nothing, like, it just seems just kind of out there. And we didn't see any gameplay to even get hyped, anything about it.
Okay, the roadmap might be to regardless, it doesn't matter. There's more. The Xbox camp can point to more games that are coming in the future as of right now than the PlayStation can. And it used to be the other way around.
Absolutely not. How can you say that, sir?
How can I say that? We'll list the games out. Code, what games do you know beyond next year are coming out on PlayStation? Matter of fact, can you list the games that are coming out next year on PlayStation? What games are coming
out for Xbox next year?
Exactly.
No. Starfield, Redfall. There is those two I know in particular, but then we do know there are games.
You have Final Fantasy 16.
You got just like Slow-Mo.
And we saw gameplay for Spoken. We saw something of it.
Slow-Mo can only name 2 games from Xbox, which is fair. Redfall, they said, which I'm skeptical, and
Starfield, which became an Xbox game in March
for sure. Okay, so PlayStation, we have apparently, according to rumors, I don't know if these rumors are true, but according to rumors, we have Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok. Now,
and Gran Turismo 7, and Forspoken, and Final Fantasy 16.
I think he's talking
because we talked about, we don't have a timetable for some of these Xbox games. There's no time. Gran Turismo 7 was supposed to already be out.
You're saying games in the future.
Gran Turismo 7. Let's
Gran Turismo.
What are we choosing here as the criteria? Does the game have to have? No. Is the game supposed to have a actual season or timetable, or is the game supposed to actually just be announced? Because literally I said before about the Xbox game has more games announced, and you guys was like, well, that's not a roadmap. Where are those games? Where are those games coming out?
Then you're
listing games where you don't actually.
I was responding to what you were saying about
you. Cut me off, but I'm gonna keep talking.
I was responding about what you were saying about what games are what other Sony games are coming out in the next year or two, and I was saying that, well, what's coming out next year for Xbox? And all we know is those 2 games that you just mentioned. So like that was I was referring to.
Okay, and that's fine. But my purpose is that what I'm saying is that there are more games announced in the future that people on the Xbox side have to look forward to.
And I disagree.
Currently on the PlayStation side, there isn't.
What is that list of
games? Can I answer the question?
There was a list of games super chatted. Like, why are you asking me this? And you were on the show when that list was made.
Let Code talk.
Anything other than Sony is bad, Sony is good, and Xbox is bad is a problem. But anyway, let me answer the question for you, sir.
Wait, real quick. Okay. Everboard, I know you want to jump in, but Code was trying to get his thoughts in. So let's go to Code first, and then we'll go to Everboard.
Jump in because we're getting no consistency here.
All right.
Okay.
So
there is consistency. It's just not from the other side of the argument, apparently.
2021 Xbox exclusives, and then I have a list of 2021 PlayStation exclusives, and then we'll go to 2022. But this, just to your point, these are Xbox exclusive games not coming to PlayStation. So Adios, Crossfire X, Dead Static Drive, Echo Generation, Echo 1, Exomecha, Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, Lake, Flight Simulator, Sable, Scorn, Shredders, the Artful Escape, The Ascent, The Big Con, The Gunk, The Wild at Heart, Tunic, 12 Minutes, Unexplored, Warhammer 40K. Now, on the PlayStation side, you asked what games, sir. So I'm just listed. We saying what games. Now these are the exclusive games for PlayStation in 2021. Deathloop, Death Stranding, Destruction All-Stars, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, Tokyo Ghostwire, which was delayed to 2022, Horizon Forbidden West, which may be delayed to 2022, Jet, The Far Shore, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Oddworld Soulstorm, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Returnal, already released, Solar Ash, and Stray. That's just 2021. Right? So they're almost double.
You forgot Deathloop.
No, he said
I said Deathloop. Okay. Those are all the announced games. So that's the point that Slow-Mo was trying to make, is there are more announced games on the Xbox side that are exclusive to that ecosystem than are announced for the play. That's a fact. Now you can narrow the conversation so that Sony looks better and say, I was talking about AAA games, or I was talking about, did Sony make it themselves? And that, what we're talking about, if we're talking about exclusive games, which is what we should want.
This is the stuff that cracks me up. Oh my God. Look at the tap dance.
Well, I also think real quick.
I listed the games.
Everyone, wait.
Who made that list?
Real quick.
Website?
I mean, I'm gonna just go back to the original point of me even bringing this up. The original point I brought this up, and this is Code. This is before you probably even really got into the whole community stuff, but maybe you missed all of this. It used to be list after list after list for the PlayStation camp. Now it's like the list don't matter, and it goes exactly to what Jez is saying. That's what fanboys do when it looks good for their side. They champion it. They wave that flag. Look at this. Look at this. This is what it's all about now. This is what it's all about. When it's no longer that for their side, they switch it to something else. We literally see the same fanboys argue the exact opposite of what they used to talk about within weeks. We see
that again. And that list theme from Everborn was laughable. Like, it really makes me think I'm wasting my time. I could be playing some games.
So play some games then.
Number one, I think I'm going to
play some games.
I really do. So number one,
I left
the point is, Slow-Mo, what I was trying to say and what I tried to say earlier, it is not a matter of list is good or list is bad. That is false. What it is, it's the same thing. Michael Jordan going to the hole. He gets a foul called. Dennis Rodman goes to the hole. Will he get the foul called? No. Why? Because of reputation. Michael Jordan has earned the right to go to the basket and get certain calls that Dennis Rodman has not. It's not the fact that there is a list, Slow-Mo. It is the fact that, is this list credible coming from this organization? There was a time when Microsoft delivered, and there was no question from the industry, nobody's like, you can count on a thing from Microsoft. They was firing on all cylinders. Something happened, don't know what, but now that dependability is no longer there. So it's not just a matter of, is there a list? Again, Scalebound was on a list just like that. Crackdown 3 was on a list just like that. Halo Infinite was on a list just like supposed to release. I thank God they pushed it back, but it's like they have a problem with delivery. And until that issue is fixed, they could have 400,000 entries on that list. The list is meaningless. It is not criticizing a list. It is saying this thing is believable or not. That's all I'm trying to say is reputation. Right. That's it.
Okay. So what you're saying is different than what the other ponies used to say. That's fine. That's fine.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah,
hold on, Enrique. To address that, I do agree. Reputation matters. So although there are games that people are out there looking forward to, the quality of those games has to be questioned when the publisher / platform has had a issue with managing the properties of these games properly.
That said, it as well.
That said, I think there is a spectrum of level of quality when it comes to Xbox Game Studios.
Agreed.
I think that the Compulsion games, the Undead Labs are the overall reputation of Xbox Game Studios, and it overshadows 343. Yes, and it overshadows the reputation of Playground Games, who has only dropped excellent games.
Yes, like there are certain like Playground, Coalition. They get a pass because they're exempt from this. But as a whole,
I think Obsidian should also get a pass. I think
Obsidian's good too, except for they just showed me a demo where they admitted we ain't got nothing ready to show for y'all, but we gonna show you something anyway. And I've heard some scuttlebutt behind the scenes about that. But I agree with you. Overall, at face value, I think Obsidian also probably has earned a pass.
Yeah. So to go back to what we're talking about now about when it comes to quality, yeah, I agree. They have to shore up that quality. I do also think that with some of these studios, and we don't know the behind the scenes of the wheres and whys that their games failed or their games didn't live up to expectations, but it's like a double-edged sword when it comes to one being acquired by a massive billion-dollar company that tells you still got the creative freedom to make whatever you want. For some of those studios, that is going to be a boon for them because their work culture is good. They just always had an issue with budget, not getting enough from the publisher, or not having enough time to deliver the game.
That's the slow-mo I know. Now you're talking. Bring it on. Keep going, sir.
I've always been that slow. You just finally agreeing with what I'm saying. That's all. But no, like I think
that's funny.
I think that's been Ninja Theory in Obsidian for the most part. Like they've had issues with publishers not giving them enough time or budget to do the game justice they were trying to do, and I think they will benefit from being under Microsoft. Some of these other studios, though, have other issues, and some of their other issues is not enough guidance towards quality assurance.
I said, you go for the head.
And the issue I have with Xbox Game Studios overall is that, from what I've heard from Phil and Matt Booty all across the board, is that we let them do. We just approve stuff. We let them do what they're doing, and we give them a little bit of feedback, down the road. But it's all them, and you see it in the proof of them releasing games with no content, releasing games that are super buggy. There's no quality assurance. I think for the studios that need that guidance, they need someone to kind of like step in and be like, y'all focusing way too much on this.
Agree.
This isn't fun. You need to do this. You have a great idea, but it needs to be molded. There is none of that being said as it appears to me. And I think those studios, regardless of budget, are just going to continue to fail. You got Rare out here showing Everwild.
And the game, they
didn't know what it was.
Hey, Code, you remember What's Love Got to Do with It movie where they had Lawrence Fishburne playing Ike Turner?
Yep.
and he was saying,
anime.
You wrote the song, you can't even remember the goddamn words. I feel like that's what's going on with Everwild, right? Like they put something out.
Good point. So here's the thing with me. So my perspective, and I know my Pegasus brothers might not want to hear me say this, but I don't have a negative look on Xbox Game Studios. I really don't. Like it's at 0, right? It was all positive. Xbox had a really big place of satisfaction with me as a gamer and as a consumer. They've lost all of the goodwill that they have that they have built up.
Yeah.
But it's not negative. I am not negatively looking at them. I don't think they're going to fail. I don't think everything they release is going to be trash. Right now, I'm in a wait and see, prove it to me mode. Again, overall, there are some studios that they have still goodwill left. I mean, overall as an organization. I agree with Slow-Mo. I think it's a double-edged sword. Some people, the unlimited resources will be good because that's where they were hurting. But then other people, the unlimited resources will be even a bigger weight around their neck because at the very least now there'll be added pressure with no excuses to use budget as a fallback to say, well, this is why things didn't go necessarily the way we wanted. Right. But I'm not. I don't have a negative look of Xbox.
I said this on the Spaces the other day, but just like so it's here for posterity or whatever. I think anyone that is in a wait and see mode as it relates to Xbox is fair game, and you cannot be faulted for saying I don't trust you, Xbox, right? You can tell me that you're like I happen to believe in the quasi roadmap that they put forth. I believe in the vision, but anybody that doesn't see that and they need to see proof, like that is absolutely valid and fair.
Why do you believe it without proof?
Yeah.
The money really. I think no. Hold on, please. Like so money. Me, no. What I'm saying is I don't think they bought Bethesda and I don't think Bethesda has a problem managing themselves, right?
They don't.
And I think they have invested money into Bethesda specifically, but maybe there are more on the horizon, maybe they aren't. They've invested money into studios. There may be some outliers that need help, right? But they have a good number of those 23 studios are good at managing themselves, and they are giving them the sort of freedom to make these things without having to add a lot of the because it's designed to serve the Game Pass service, so they don't have to add all of these games as a service stuff. Not that
those
they're
games
not
will come
working
to
on those.
Xbox regardless from Bethesda. That's the thing. Like they didn't get new games from this purchase, this $7 billion purchase. Those games will come into Xbox regardless. So like it's not like they got a bunch of new games. They just got new games under their stuff. And also we talk about investment. Being a Microsoft, like whatever. I've been with Microsoft for like buying all their products, and I've seen what investment has done. Beam, Windows Phone, Nokia. So all this.
Don't get me started on Windows Phone.
But I'm just saying, no. You're excited for the investment, but they've invested in many things and just kind of just let them go. They invested in Rare, and just because they're spending money, I don't think that is just like a champion, something to celebrate, because they were coming out with games early on this generation, early in the Xbox One, even with the 360. I didn't know how many studios they had. I didn't care. I'm playing Halo 3. I'm playing Gears 2. They were getting Titanfall. I didn't care if they owned them. And all I knew is that great games were coming to the system, and that's all that mattered. But now it's about how many studios they have, how much money they spent. I don't care. They gave Ninja tons of money and to shut down the system 6 months ago.
So, Jess, what you did real quick was kind of unfair. I know where you're coming from, but it was kind of unfair because I asked him why he believed in it, and he was giving me his personal reasons why he had
I'm not going at him with it. I just see it all over, though. I'm seeing it all over where the reason why people are excited about Xbox is because they're spending money. Not about the games that they've shown. And I'm not saying just you. I'm saying overall, that's where I see a lot of this promise comes from.
Absolutely cool. But if I could finish my point.
Sure. Sorry.
What I was trying to say is I think the reason they ended up where they were in the Xbox One generation is because in the 360 generation, they relied too heavily on third-party or second-party deals and other people, and they fell back. But that only helps you when you are the market leader, right? I think when you're the market leader, it becomes easier to make those second-party deals. And I think them investing in their own studios who they can empower to make IP that they own is a good sign towards the future. I'm also a believer in what they're doing with Game Pass. I'm a believer in a future state of xCloud. I'm a believer in being hardware agnostic. I know, Code, I don't think you're as far down that line as I am on that, but I do like this
hardware agnostic.
Yeah. Sure. So for me, the idea of picking up a game on one Xbox, bringing it to another, and then if I'm at work, I can pick up that same game on my PC. I work from home, or you could play it in the cloud. All those things working together. So it is the studio investment. It is the Game Pass service. It is the cloud service. It is the hardware agnostic thing where we're doing cross-play and all those things. That to me is a whole package that says they are serious. And if they weren't investing this level of resources into what they are trying to build, I would not be as high as I am on Xbox's future. So when I say I believe in the roadmap, I believe in that vision that they have for gaming coming true. Now,
but you don't necessarily believe in the games themselves.
I have to see them, right? But again, I'm only an Xbox guy in that if there's a multi-plat, I will buy it there first. But I try to play everything, right? And it's not so much that like you have to say, oh, because I do think that's also, it's been dying down now, but I do think that is also a problem. So I'm going to agree with you here, Jez. A lot of people keep focusing on Microsoft buy this studio, Microsoft buy that studio, Microsoft buy Capcom, Microsoft buy whoever. And we actually need to see what it is like for Microsoft to own all those studios and then manage them and then have this clip. Now, the last thing I want to say is I do think I do think they have been delivering on content to play for their players in large, right? To me, Death's Door is out of Code. I don't know if you played this yet, but I know the other members on the panel, most of us have played it. Death's Door is probably my favorite.
Death's Door is excellent. It's a very good game,
right? It is my favorite game of the year. Ascent, I'm getting into it now. I think that Flight Sim was a great technical achievement.
Not quite as excellent. The Ascent is not quite as excellent.
Absolutely not. But I think Flight Sim is great. Okay. I use it now if I hear there's a storm and I want to try to fly into it. But that's really the extent of my Flight Sim experience. Hades just came out, but that's an old Switch game. And I was playing it this morning. I'm iffy on it. But then you have 12 minutes. You have, and I know Psychonauts is for everybody, but it's in the service. So what I'm saying is, as long as they provide things in the service for their players while they're building up, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. And I think that for the second half of the year, I think they are delivering. I think between Flight Sim, for me, Death's Door is a very big positive. I don't care what the budget was. Flight Sim, Death's Door, and later in the year, if Halo actually comes out, and Forza, that is a good second 6 months, right? And I think that Sony has knocked it out of the park in the first half of the year. And if we get Horizon, that's it, done deal. But if we don't, I think it's a little light on the PlayStation side in terms of exclusives, and Xbox has a lot happening right now. So first 6 months, Sony wins. First year, I think it is not as bad as people are making it out to be. So I see movement in the positive direction. If it was going in the other direction, then I would feel differently. But
you can't go below zero, though. Yeah, not releasing any games and you can't go backwards from that. So you only could go up.
Yeah,
let me doing.
Yeah, let me grab. I got a bunch of super chats I got to get to here real quick. I got Rice Eater 79 with a $5 super chat. He says, "Tough pill is PS5 will be able to have SSDs beyond 7,000 gigabytes a second going forward. Xbox Series X will never be able to utilize SSDs faster than 2.4 gigabytes a second as a Gen 3 NVMe." Thank you for that super chat.
There is no drive in the world that does 7,000 gigabytes per second. Please stop.
That's true.
Yeah,
and it is just it's like really like what the PlayStation is looking for is the read speeds. That's what's more important than anything than the write speeds. But regardless, like, do you have games right now that are even really utilizing that? Like on my PC that is largely PCIe Generation 3. I have like not like trying to outwardly test certain things, but there have been two games in particular that I have on my PS5 that I also have on my PC. And when I just said, hey, let's see how fast they really are, both times my PC loaded them faster. So it's like the SSD, and I know Cole has spoken to this before about like the IO infrastructure. Like the SSD is a part of that. It's not all there is of that. You have to take into account the entire machine and not just a part of it. That's almost as like,
God, yes. Oh
I mean, it's almost like,
yes.
So it's almost like my car's faster than yours because I just got these brand new tires. Like what? Like no, like that's not how this works, man. So it's like it gets people are making a big deal out of this SSD way too much. It's really frustrating. Plus, I'm gonna say it again, so y'all definitely understand. It's just delete your damn games, okay? You don't even need this stuff. Delete your games.
Yes, listen to
Internal
Slow-Mo.
storage is fine.
Yes, listen to Slow-Mo.
I was a big fan of that.
Yeah,
I only got it because I wanted to make a video. That's the only.
No, wait a second. But wait, we saw the video, and I shared the video with you where the external SSD is actually loading games a bit faster than the internal Sony.
Digital Foundry did a test with the Samsung 980 Evo Pro.
Right now. Imagine a year or two from now, the external SSDs that you can get that might be even faster than or load faster. Have some benefits over that. Like it gives you that.
They'll be even cheaper.
They'll be even cheaper too.
Gentlemen, let me.
Brap, one thing. We got 160 something people watching here, and we only got 39 likes on my screen. Can we get a little bit more likes?
It's a lot of hate watching, man. And you lazy behinds can't even hit the like button.
Hate watching. They got their arms crossed.
The window shoppers. We got the window shoppers. There they are.
Let me get. Want to get the super chat from.
Down looking in.
Get super chat for $5 super chat from K Sante. Salute, gentlemen. Got in late, so I'll catch up. Loving the debate. Thank you for that, K Sante. Big shout out to Hip Hop Gamer who's in the live chat. Says yo, much love to the BRAP family. God bless. Just showing y'all love. Thank you for that, Hip Hop Gamer. Always great seeing you in the live chat, and always a great guest, by the way. And really appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Let's see here. I know we got some more. We got Jeff with the $5 super chat. Says you can't pick and choose exclusives. Timed and second party games matter. Thank you for that super chat, sir. Let's see what else. I know we got some more here. We got Strictly Gaming with the $20 super chat. Thank you, Strictly.
What's up, David Gaines? What's up, man?
He says,
I just want to let you guys know this because he hates me mentioning this, but David Gaines spends $600 on his beard oil. He does.
What?
On his beard oil alone.
What kind of beard oil does he have? Is like exotic?
Look, he gets it. He gets it from the Himalayas. He gets it from Tibetan monks.
Let me tell you something. I'm trying to find out.
$600
Is that what he has?
Into the United States. Seriously,
bro, that beard oil must be.
I'm trying to find out where he gets it from because I've been trying to grow my beard out for a good couple years now. But anyway,
mess with him.
Is this as long as
the saying this to him for weeks now? I'm messing with him. It's probably like $300. I don't know. Who knows?
But yo, so it's $300. He's got PS5 beard oil.
I'm making it a thing. It's a thing.
All right, let me. So $20 super chat for Strictly Gaming says, "Unk, what up? What's good, panel? Xbox has talented studios. I mentioned this before. Unk can attest, but the direction from exclusives, I think, is the biggest issue. They should take full advantage of their potential." Thank you for that super chat.
Just to answer that, like, and I say this on K's show all the time. I think Matt Booty has the easiest job in the industry. I think he just calls up studios and say, "Hey, what are you working on?" And then they say games, and then he says, "I'll talk to you next year." Like that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's when he says I'm booty clapping. That's when he calls the studios. It's like booty clapping time.
Oh my God, booty clapping.
Jesus.
Yeah, and by the way, Everboard's right. We have.
He's like, it's a booty call. That's his WebEx. His Microsoft Teams is like a booty call.
Wow.
We got a booty call this afternoon.
Oh my God. By the way, Everboard's right. We have 161 people watching. Please, let's get some more likes. We got another super chat from King Thrash Gaming with a $5 super chat. Thank you, King Thrash. He says the day they canceled Scalebound but gave Crackdown the okay, she'll let you know that Xbox management don't know what they are doing. Thank you for that super chat, sir. And then we have Smokes901 with the $70 czar. Says Xbox don't need more studios but more management prowess. They should get They should get a big truck full of gold and money into Shannon Studstill's house and get her on board to manage all these IPs. Thank you for that super chat, sir. And I think, are we caught up there, Slow-Mo? I think we are, right?
I think we're all caught up. Yeah.
So can I ask the panel a question? Like, I think if I remember correctly, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I think when the PS4 and Xbox One dropped, it took Sony a little while. I'm not saying they didn't launch with anything, but it took them a while to get going. Where do you think to get going to the greatness that was the PS4 generation, where it was just kind of hit after hit? What do you think is that window on the? I know where it is for me. But what do you guys think is that window to where, okay, I know in order to get the kind of games that we're all talking about, the bangers, right? I know I know some people hate the word bangers, but what is that window to where we say, okay, I know it takes time. I'm going to give you this amount of time. Yes, they should have had something at launch, but I'm just saying we are where we are today. What do you think is your window?
I don't have a window. I think it's like, look, just drop the games when they're ready to drop, because I definitely, absolutely do not want you to rush games out and then like what could have been a quality, great experience at launch turned into a buggy mess. So just like release them when they're ready. In regards to PlayStation 4 at the beginning of last generation, what Sony did was rely a lot on like indie games when they were trying to tool up. Yeah, what they're trying to tool up with their first party, and I mean, look, like it really worked. If you think about games like Until Dawn's kind of sleeper hits that no one really was checking for, then come out and then they turn out to be really good games that people enjoy, and that's what you really. That tends to happen a lot at the beginning of generations because people are getting used to new hardware. They see more opportunities with the capabilities of engines and hardware that's now available to them, and then they kind of change focus sometimes with the games that they're going to develop for. Oh, well, before we were only going to have 6 people on screen, but we can go up to 10 now that we have we're going to be putting this game out on hardware that is capable of doing that, blah, 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 blah. So, like, stuff takes time. And I don't really think anyone should be in the camp of, look, you got until, like, the middle of 2022 to give you something. I mean, look, man, if you bought the console, you spent $500 on the console, then, like, you made an investment on something. If you're not willing to make the investment for both sides. Wait for games that come out on both sides. I mean, video games aren't made in like 5 weeks. They're made in 5 years, 3 years, 4 years. Like it is what it is, man. Just wait for the games.
So I'm going to answer this thing and tie it into the super chat here from Mr. Rice 79. He says the problem with Xbox fans is they think that they're going to get PS AAA quality games on Xbox from Game Pass. It's false. Expectations seeing another company's results. Now, I'm not going to be as harsh as that, but I am going to say this is the thing. So get ready. Here's my preaching donation jar is going to come out now. So I understand totally because you're right, Everborn, about PlayStation was the indie station for the beginning of the PS4. That's why I didn't have a PS4 in the beginning. I had an Xbox One because they had Titanfall, they had Rise, they had Halo coming, they had Gears, they had all these games that were coming, and that's why I was like, yeah. So the games are here. So I got an Xbox One for the first 5 years. But the thing is that Sony did end the PS3 very strong with some of those games as well. Microsoft was still coming off the Kinect thing and still forced Kinect. But hear this. This is why I have an issue, and it goes into exactly what Phil's been saying. If we were sitting here and there was they're not focusing on the core gamer as much as PlayStation would be, because they're making games for the core gamer. And that's why when I see Phil's comments and I see the direction of making non-gamers gamers and trying to put everything everywhere and kind of casualizing everything, I realize that are those games going to come, and is those game when those games arrive, such as a Perfect Dark and a Fable, what are they going to look like in this vision? Because see, that's all they've been doing now. They haven't demonstrated with example. They haven't made the games do the talking yet. But the vision, and that's all they've been talking about. When Phil goes on all these interviews, he's not going like we're gonna do what they're doing. Like we're trust us, Xbox. Like we're gonna make that. We see that quality. We're gonna achieve that quality. Instead, he goes, we're not doing what they're doing, dude. We're gonna do our own thing. Like we're not doing that. So to sit here and be like, oh man, those just a few years and those games are gonna come, the core games that they did, and when like just like how PlayStation did it, it's gonna be here again, just like how PlayStation did it. Xbox, it's their turn now. It's the new generation, it's their turn. I wish that was true, but everything that I see coming out of them, that's why it grinds my gears about the direction that Xbox is going. They were delivering stuff. And now it's this wishy-washy, 2 billion gamers. Like, you got to walk before you can run. You got to address the need of quality games to your core audience and then expand from there. You can't go to a person. It's like making hamburgers at a vegan festival. You can't make games for 2 billion people that don't give a shit about you. Just because you slap it on a phone doesn't make it successful. And this is the thing. If they were talking more of a core focus, I would say, you know what, Perfect Dark's going to be a friggin' hit. It's going to be awesome. Not saying these games are going to be bad, but the fact is that I don't know what they're going to look like in this Microsoft vision, and that's my problem. I don't like this 2 billion gamers. That's great for Phil and what their vision is, but that doesn't sound good as a person that just wants to play great games and has just been waiting and now waiting some more, and then to find out what is this going to be. And look at what they're doing with Halo. Like, that is just a kind of microcosm of what this future might look like, of reaching 2 billion gamers. Worry about your core and then expand.
So can I just
hold on? Let me get my answer, man.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and then wait, Code, real quick. And then after Everborn follows up with you, Code, I want to read the quote by Phil Spencer because Jez actually did a good way segueing into this topic. So go ahead, Code.
Well, let me go first because like he's clearly changed the topic a little bit, so to be more of what the actual topic is.
Yeah.
So, Everborn, to answer your question, for me, very similar to what Slow-Mo said, Microsoft has the entire generation. Like I bought the console. I'm here for the long run, right? Like they have as much time as they need to drop the bangers that I want. However, in the meantime, they're going to see me say Xbox got no games, and I'm not going to stop. I told you months ago, even before the June showcase, I told you I was very clear. All we get from Xbox is Halo, Gears, Forza. Halo, Gears, Forza. Okay, what will it take for me to stop saying Xbox got no games? They give me 3 IPs, of which only one can be Halo, Gears, or Forza. So I don't care. Pick either one. Halo, Gears, Forza, and 2 other ones. But not all 3 of those, right? That doesn't mean I don't want those as well. I'm tired of living off of Halo, Gears, Forza. So give me 1 new AAA IP. I'm sorry, 2 AAA IPs new, and either Halo, Gears, or Forza. So far, all we've got coming is Halo, Gears, and Forza. Gears 5, Halo Infinite, Forza 5. That was expected. So for me, the needle hasn't moved any. Flight Sim could have did it for me, but like I'm not really going to go into that because I don't really want to. That is a great technological achievement, and I just want to leave it at that. So for me, they have the entire generation, but I'm still waiting. So that's it for me. They have the whole generation, but they also going to have me saying Xbox got no games for the whole generation.
Go ahead, Everborn.
So, I think to Jez, your point about Halo, I just wanted to kind of dig deeper on that because I feel like they did speak to the core. No, I'm saying I feel like they did speak to the core Halo fans, at least from what I played in the in the beta. So when you say the direction they're going, what do you mean?
The beta you got owned in by bots.
What?
Hey, easy, goddamn it.
So,
Right
when I mentioned the core audience, and I saw somebody in the chat mention about core audience. The thing is that the people that are preaching about the games and all that stuff, the people that want, like, the core audience can be a very audience, but the people that bought the console, that are hoping for these games, that are on these podcasts, that are on Twitter, the people that really you just want to play great games. But the thing is that who I'm talking about when he says 2 billion people. He's talking about Timmy on a phone sitting at McDonald's. He's talking about, he says it in this quote where I don't know the difference between non-gamers and gamers. Like, don't worry about the non-gamers yet. Get the gamers first. Then expand to people that, like, word of mouth will help you do that. To answer your question about Halo, they heard the Halo core fans. Okay. What they did with Halo is that basically they took Halo 5 and they removed all the mobility stuff because people complained about it. And now what we played over that weekend was a competent shooter. What is the next gen for Halo 6? What is Halo 6 going to do? Because Halo always seems to address and evolve the multiplayer community with adding stuff like Warzone and things like that. So what are you doing here? You're basically scaling stuff back, and that's meeting the core, like the Halo core. Like, I just don't understand. If you are a Halo core person, first off, I don't know how you like that friend to foe stuff. I gave my feedback on that one. Just to add cosmetics to the game, you basically gave everybody a blue shell and a red shell. As a Halo person that plays this, and that pop, when you hit that shield and it pops, and they go for the head to kill them, that's not there because everybody's in this blue and red shield and stuff like that. So seeing that, I don't know if as a core person that's satisfying. The killing did not seem satisfying in that game, and they got to fix it. And I gave my feedback on that stuff. But to say they addressed the core audience from what we played, come on, the Needler didn't even have a glass sound. There's a lot of stuff that was missing in that game just to be what it should be. And then we need to see what goes on from there, because this is 5 years in the making, and this is Halo. This is a thing that created the Xbox. It shouldn't be, it's all right, it's fun with bots. No, this should be it. This is, if we want to start talking quality, it starts at Halo. And that's where it starts. And it's not started yet.
To address that, honestly, I'm an old school Halo guy from the very beginning. I never gave a damn about that damn Needler, except for when it was OP.
How do you not care about it? It's an auto-seeking thing.
I'm capping fools without it, and I'm not picking it up.
Go. I'm gonna see him on the pro circuits. Dude,
I'm not good. I'm saying, like, I just don't. I don't get, like, those little things I did not care about. What I cared about was getting back to the kind of Halo that Bungie made, and not so much of the other stuff that 343 was trying to introduce. What I played from Halo Infinite, it reminded me of Halo 3, but with some quality of life improvements. The sprint
equipment is nowhere on the level of what Halo 3 equipment did.
I actually was a fan of the jetpack, so I'm trying to get used to not having it. I don't think they should have took it out, but I heard you can still get it. It's
an equipment drop, yeah. And I do like the hook shot. I like the hook shot. Like, I think the hook shot was at first, like, when they first showed it.
Hook shots work in every game, in every genre.
Yeah,
it is the greatest video game.
The hook is good.
The hook is good. I liked it, and it did have a good feel, and I like that you could use it, as mobility, but also the retrieve stuff. Like, I was a hater on the hook shot, but then I liked it on the thing. But I do think the equipment was a bit lacking, and hopefully they add more. Like, something like the bubble shield, man, when you drop that thing, it was a neutralizer because you had to go in or you had to wait. That other shield thing, I'm not a fan of that. That thing was kind of weak. I didn't even know I had it.
It takes too long to, like, after you throw it. It takes a full second for it to deploy. And if you are using it, if you turn a corner and you see 3 guys in front of you and you're like, let me throw the shield and try to recover, it's not going to help you because
No,
you're
it
going to
takes
be
too
dead before the shield pops up.
Exactly. You'll see it on the
what
floor,
happened.
and then you wait it to pop up. Yeah, exactly.
You're looking at your death cam, and then the shield pops up. It's just like,
Yeah.
what was the purpose of that? So, like,
Yeah.
I even said that in the feedback that I gave them. I said that shield needs to come up immediately after being thrown. Waiting a full second makes it completely useless unless you immediately like pre-plan an attack on someone, throw the shield, and then you're kind of using the shield to help protect you as you know someone's coming at you. But who does that? Like that's not.
It
that's
does
not
take
gonna
too
happen
long,
every
and
day.
then it gets really like you could shoot through. And I think you could. I tried. You could shoot through it, but they can't shoot at you. But then it goes away in little blocks. Like I liked what I played. Like I'm not saying like it was definitely fun. But you gotta remember too. There's the whole Master Chief Collection on there. If you want the Bungie Halo, it's there, ready to play.
Yeah.
So the thing is like I liked it. Like I'm not saying I hated on it. I just think that there's definitely an expectation, and this is a tech thing. That's why I understand that. But like at the same time, I wish there was more to see and that we know more is coming. So we'll see what happens. But I liked what I played. It's just that it's Halo standards. I have bigger expectations for Halo because this is their thing.
Did you get the opportunity to play against other players for that?
No, I missed it. It was 3 hours on Sunday night, and I missed it. And I wanted to do that, and I thought they were going to open it up again. I tried doing it on the Monday morning, and that's when they shut it down. So I could not play against the other players because I want to see how everybody used that equipment because nobody was really using it, with the bots and stuff.
Because the bots didn't utilize it correctly.
No, they didn't.
When I played it, like it was a complete change in dynamics.
That's what I want to try.
If you got lulled into a false sense of security going up against those bots, even the Spartan bots were food for me. They were just food. But like as soon as I went against actual players, it's like, okay, when I say talking about old school Halo, map control, knowing when the power weapon comes back up, that was like the entire, like every match was like that, where it was like you're fighting for the power weapons.
Yeah, that's why I wish they did more of it. So hopefully they have another flight. But yeah, like I wish they have more of it. But like Halo is I love Halo. Halo's that was it. Like for me, Halo is like this, like even more so than Gears. So that's why I just want to see this be the next thing.
I think
real quick.
Go
ahead and finish this point, Everboard, because I want to get to this last topic because Code's on limited time here.
Yeah, okay. I think they are speaking to that hardcore audience that you're speaking to, Jez, but they're not only speaking to them. But I do think there will be games. I think they're speaking to the Halo audience with Halo, and that's a back and forth conversation. But I do think they're speaking to that AAA Game of the Year banger audience. They're not here yet, and they deserve all the smoke until they get here. But I don't think they're leaving that audience out. But I hope, and I think 343 should stop trying to chase Bungie. I think that's their downfall. Totally. I think they are a very talented studio that's capable of top quality. But I think if you're gonna chase Ghost.
I think I agree with Everborn on this one.
It's like Jay trying to chase Biggie. Like just stop doing it
yourself.
Yeah,
and that's what they were doing with 4 and 5. Like they were trying different things. Like but anyway.
All right, gentlemen, I do want to get to this next to actually that was supposed to be the main topic of the podcast. And because I have to leave at 1:00 too, so I want to get to this this topic here. So obviously, everyone we've talked about this quite a bit more recently. Phil Spencer's comments on Blockbuster Games. I'll read the quote again for those who may or may not be familiar with what he said. But in an interview with Games Radar, he was asked for an example about a lack of epic self-contained single-player games on Xbox. And Phil's response to that question was, our strategy is not to just go be like someone else. I get a push sometimes of where's your version of this or that game. I've been in this industry for a long time. I have a ton of respect for creators on all platforms, and I know many, many of them. But it's good if we're doing something different than what other platforms are doing. We're not in the business of just trying to create a green version of somebody else's blue or red colored platform. Blue, by the way, is the blue reference is Sony, red reference being Nintendo. That's not the example of creativity that I want to see in the games industry. So I want to go to you, Optimus Code, because you had a lot to say about this week. What are your thoughts about this, man?
So So a lot of people ran with it that Phil doesn't want Sony Blockbuster titles on Xbox, right? That's clearly not what he said.
Yeah.
But it was funny.
Exactly.
So because it was funny, like, let's run with it. Shit, it's funny to me. And that's the conversation. But clearly that's not what he said, right? That being said, though, what he actually did say still disturbs me from this sense, and I've said it ad nauseum. I don't even think I really even need to say it again, but just in case anybody missed it. Oh, before I get to that, it's like, I don't know, it's like the Xbox community want to pretend that this article doesn't exist. And every Xbox person, including Everborn here.
Don't put my name in this.
Every person, Xbox person, tries to downplay this. Well, look at this other thing he said over here instead. Or look at this other thing instead. Like, let's not focus on the most recent thing he said. Let's just look at some other stuff that puts Xbox in a more positive light, which is Xbot 101, right? Like, let's ignore the bad, keep the good. So here's the thing. At the end of the day, my issue with what he said, there are two issues I have with what he said. One, he keeps talking about what he wants for Xbox as opposed to what the fans want for Xbox. He acknowledges that gamers have asked me for this, but I want that. That dichotomy right there, that whole dynamic seems backwards, in my opinion. If you know that you have fans asking for these things, I won't even mention no names, but a very prominent Xbox podcaster was in the spaces with Luca and myself, and he said very specifically, I would be disappointed if they didn't, because I've been asking for this for years now, and I'm still waiting, and I would be very disappointed if they keep ignoring my feedback in the interest of doing something else. And I agree with him. I do not think that dynamic is correct. I think it needs to be inverted. I hear the fans asking for this, and we're working towards that because they aren't mutually exclusive. It's not like if you do this, then you can't do that. So he can be different and still give fans what they want. That's the first issue I have with it. And then the second issue I have with it is it is hypocritical in the worst case. In the best case, it is, I don't know, misinformed. Because on the one hand, they say, we don't tell developers what to make. They make what they want. And then on the next sentence, he's saying, here's what we're delivering and here's what I want. And so it's not really clear, are you giving direction to these developers and they're making the things that you want? Or are they making what they want? And if so, how can you say what you want on the platform or not? These things, they don't add up. So honestly, I wish he would just let the games do the talking.
That's a great point, Code. And I'm with you, man. I agree with you. I think the fact that we've all been asking for, and no one's saying we want a guy with a beard, mustache, and his 7-year-old son throwing an axe on the Xbox. Like, no one's asking for like the exact carbon copy of God of War. What we are saying though is, hey, and how I feel about this, like, you have the most powerful console, right? Or you advertise the most powerful console. And power's kind of typically been synonymous for most of the Xbox's life as a platform. Like if you go back to the OG Xbox, and you remember this, Code, like this goes back to kind of like that reputation or that political capital that they have or don't have right now in the gaming space, that they used to make these wonderful experiences like Halo, Gears, and it really tied it to the power of the OG Xbox. So they could do all these things with the internal hard drive that no other console had. And they made games like that. And they were great looking games. And that point of, hey, you know what? People are asking me. You're acknowledging the fact that people are asking you, and it's not just Sony, because he also mentions Red, which is Nintendo. So when you think of Nintendo synonymous with games that have great gameplay mechanics, solid game design, things like that, right? And then we know about Sony and their big AAA blockbusters. Yep. But for him to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to make those kinds of games. My fans are asking me, or people are asking me, where's this version? Like, why can't you do both, like Code said?
Exactly.
You could clearly do both. And you could clearly make games that have solid gameplay loops, great game design, level design, solid gameplay mechanics, big AAA production values. You could do all those things with everything else that you want to do.
Got the money
on your platform. Yeah, you have the money, you have the development, and again, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but I also think it's kind of an odd comment to make. And to Code's point, I agree with you, man. Just let the games do the talking.
But can I jump in?
Absolutely do that. They could absolutely do that. They could absolutely make a game that's designed the way that Sony makes their first party single player third person perspective narrative driven kind of game, and still have the identity that they want to have, because we're outside of one or two games that are like that.
Yep.
You provide games in other genres that PlayStation currently isn't doing in first party.
Yeah.
Period. So it's like you just doing one of those games would automatically make, you're copying PlayStation. No. You got 23 other studios making other games that aren't like their games at all. So
and does
why
he control
would
content, or do the studios control it? Like, who's making
you make a very good point there, because they got these studios because of creative freedom. Like multiple studio heads from these studios said they signed on because they would be still what they enjoyed from being independent. They still got, regardless of the fact they're not really independent anymore, but they have that creative freedom to make and do what they want to make. But then now you're saying we're not trying to be like that platform. Well, if they have the freedom to make whatever they want, what do you really have no say in that? If Compulsion said, you know what, Uncharted, let's just look at Uncharted. We're gonna do all that. It's gonna be different characters, but it's gonna be all of that stuff. Is Phil gonna come down from the high chair and be like, hey, look, Compulsion, we are not the blue team. We're the green team.
Exactly.
Shit out. Like, I mean, wait. What are you gonna say if they decide to do that? Like,
we're not
nothing.
Nintendo guys.
You're gonna cut the check and shut up, and hopefully they will deliver the way that you want them to deliver. I mean, like I brought this up on Scumcast yesterday. They have a whole internal team that reviews games. Yeah, it was an awesome episode. It was hilarious. They have a whole internal team that reviews these games from their comparator. It leaked out their review of The Last of Us 2. They called it a masterpiece. Why would you not want to try to make a masterpiece? I don't want to hear any of this talk about, well, we don't want to copy nobody. This is the video game industry. All AAA games are copying somebody else. There's no originality. You want originality? You go to indie games. Those are original. AAA games aren't original. How many times have we seen developers come out and talk about how, we wanted to implement this idea, but the leadership said, well, give us proof of this working in some other game before. That's exactly how it works. If they don't have proof that it will work somewhere else before, they ain't doing it, because they ain't going to spend $100 million on an unproven idea. They're going to spend $100 million on something that actually works. This is why Ubisoft keep chasing trends all the time. So miss me with the nonsense that, we want to be super original and different. And you're already original and different. You're Xbox, okay?
You're already special.
Yeah, you have a donut.
Real quick, I want to say that's a great points, by the way, Slow-Mo. And I agree with you 110%, man. Like, I think, again, you could do all those things, still be original, be different. But here's the thing, and I said this earlier, because I'm a recovering Xbox fanboy. Code, I have shared with you my stories of lying and all those other things I used to do in the name of green and Xbox. But this is what I'm talking about. Somebody in live chat says Starfield is that big blockbuster game. We don't know that. Why are we doing this? Like, why are we? And this is what you said, Code, I think earlier in the week. Like, people, they set the bar so high, and that bar's not met. It's like, that's why people are disappointed sometimes. Like, you don't know Starfield's that blockbuster game. We only saw a picture of somebody in a spaceship in a space outfit, and that was about it.
I keep saying Starfield could be a tabletop RPG for all we know.
Yeah, it could be. It could be a blockbuster too.
You know what? I hope
sit there and speak in absolutes. Come on, that's crazy.
It is. So I can see the cappers try to pretend like they like it. Like, I want to see them go, this is really exciting.
This is all I ever wanted.
I've never played this kind of game
tabletop
before.
games.
I'm at least satisfied. I want to see them cap for that.
Thanks, Phil.
All right, so can I jump in for a second? So I think as it relates to the article, I think if you were already concerned about the direction of Xbox and what games they're going to produce for you as a gamer in the future, this is no reason for you to be less concerned, but I don't think it's a reason for you to be more concerned. And if you weren't concerned,
of course not.
You see what I'm talking about? And if you weren't concerned,
that just means he likes
this is not a reason. This is not a reason to cause concern. Now, so the article itself, I think, is much to do about nothing. But the issue at hand is that people think that Phil Spencer seems to not be interested in making high quality games. And I know that's not what you're saying, Slow-Mo. You're saying specifically, why not make one of those story-driven games? And on that, I agree. And I hope it is happening. And I will not say that Hellblade is that game, because you are right. That studio is not staffed up to do something like that. If you say that the Coalition's next non-Gears game will be that, then I will say, yes, I'm hyped for it. I trust what the Coalition does. Let's go. But I'm with you and Cog where I say just one. But I disagree with you, BRAP, with this supposition that they are not interested in making high quality, high production value, core game mechanic, genre defining games, because they are. And I don't know why you would think that they're not interested in making those.
Why do you think that they are?
How do you think they are? See, this is the thing. Like, if they start showing the games, let the games do the talking, like what Optimus is saying. Let the games do the talking. And this is the thing. Like, he talks so much about this stuff. Just show the games. Like, show the stuff. Like, just show it, dude.
Okay. See, we keep living in this moment of right now, and I get it. Don't buy it right now.
Well, he's talking. Well, then how can you say right now that you believe this 5-year plan? Like, we don't know.
I'm saying that I believe that Obsidian will make a AAA, big, budgeted, high quality game of the year contender with Avowed, because I trust Obsidian.
They got 2 games they announced. So what team? A team or B team? Which one's working on Avowed? Which one's working on Outer Worlds 2?
The A team is working on.
Remember the Grounded? That's the C team. So how many teams?
So
A team, B team. Remember, the game is trash. If the game is trash, then it's the B team or the C team. We don't know which one's the A team. Is that Avowed, or is that going to be? Because this is the bullshit that we see. If it's not a great game from them, it's the B team. Oh, they got another one working on this one.
That's not what I'm saying here. I am saying that they are making those kind of games.
How do you know that? Where are you getting that from?
Where are you getting that they're not?
I don't have that they're not.
You can't say that then.
I'm not.
This is what I'm saying.
Nobody's saying it. You're not listening.
BRAP is saying that they are not trying to make those
I did
games.
say I didn't say that. I didn't say that. What I said was,
you're saying, BRAP.
I said what was interesting about his comments is that people are asking him to make those games. We know Xbox guys that lean more Xbox in this community that want those kinds of games. You see it on Twitter all the time. We have big shout out to Lord Cognito, by the way. Iron Lords go live in about a half hour. Cognito says, just give me one, Phil. Right?
And I 100% agree with
so
that.
What I find curious is that people are asking him for those games, and he's saying, we don't want to copy. Well, no one's saying, Phil, that we want a man in a beard, mustache, not wearing a shirt, throwing around an axe on Xbox. What we're saying is we want that level of quality in terms of detail, gameplay design, storytelling. We want a game that really sucks us in, where we identify with characters of those games. And we used to have that with this platform. We used to have it. Remember Mad World? Remember that commercial for Gears 2? Remember when that hit? The emotional response, the feeling you got seeing that? That's what people are asking for. And he's saying we don't want to copy it. And what I'm saying is,
that's said though. You are editorializing that. He specifically said, people asked me to make the green version of this game.
Yes,
he said no.
How is that different than what he just said?
Because you are editorializing that to mean that he said I don't want to make a quality game.
No, I didn't say that. I never said that.
Hold on. Yeah. Everborn, you have heard so many people talk about this that you're stereotyping. You're not listening to what we're actually saying. You have a prepared defense against what you think the narrative is, and nothing BRAP has said, Slow-Mo has said, or I have said matches what you're not even talking to us.
But I just agreed with Slow-Mo and I agreed with Cog. If the answer is Xbox needs a third-person narrative-driven AAA game, then yes, they need that. In fact, I will not even say
they need it. Here, this is what Enrique is saying. Enrique is saying fans have been asking for it, but Phil says we don't want to be a clone. And Enrique is saying we're not asking for an exact clone. Mm-hmm. We just want games in this type of genre with this type of way. And Phil, no matter how much you twist it, he is not committed to making those games. He has not verbalized a commitment. So you keep asking, how do we know that they're not? We're not saying they're not. We're saying that he's not committing to it. And you're saying, well, we are getting them. And so we ask you, well, how do you know? But you won't answer that part. That is the conversation we're having right here with Enrique.
Okay, and the words coming out of his mouth should be giving examples or showing games or talking about stuff. Like that's how you.
It's up to the studios.
If they're not ready, then he shouldn't be talking.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing
he's been saying this for the last 2 years. This is not new news. He's been saying crap like this for the last 3 years or so. Ever since they go for the $2 billion.
Yeah, the other thing too, there is some fair criticism, I think, from the community, because I've seen this where this past summer, Phil did bring up the fact that building gigantic self-contained narrative games is riskier now. So he's actually this is the first time he's kind of addressed AAA big narrative-driven games and the risks they pose. But he's also said, as a byproduct of that statement, has said that they in part want to make games that are building games around player input. You know, like Sea of Thieves. He used Sea of Thieves as an example.
Player engagement, he called it.
Yeah, player engagement.
And but people making mods or something like that. Yeah, some people are selling things in a marketplace. He wants everything to be Minecraft.
He's
talking about like monthly active users where he's counting.
Yeah. So this is what he says. So Spencer sees an opportunity in using modern platform and technologies to test out ideas and build a community of fans before a game's release. So I would couple that with this recent comment. I think that's also why some people are kind of raising eyebrows a little bit with this particular comment, because he has made comments about how risky it is to make these big narrative-driven games and how they also want to make games, and he uses Sea of Thieves as an example, games that are based off of community input by fans before games release.
And what's the example they gave with Halo too? Oh, tell us what we'll do. We'll add stuff over time. Tell us where to put the classic guns. You know, we'll figure out where to do it. It's a service game for 10 years. Like, that fits right into what he's saying.
That also fits it also fits the Game Pass model of subscription base. You want to keep people engaged, and how do you do that? You know, you keep them coming back to the table over and over.
Carrot out there.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's fine. You know, like I'm not. It's just a different way. I'm not saying it's bad. You know, I think
but that's why we said they're not mutually exclusive. He can do both.
Exactly.
That's what the thing is. I don't like the thing that gets me is the all in on everything. Like, it's all in on service, all in on Game Pass. Like, have some balance. Have games maybe not in there. Maybe have some games that do something different. Like, don't go all in on this and like all in on cloud. Like, have some blend. Like, you could do everything. You have all the money, do it. Like, make this for that and this for this. Do a waterfall approach. Like, do something, but this total commitment and just all talk, again, without the examples, leaves us speculation as to what these games are going to look like in this mentality. And this is his mentality of what game, like, this is their mentality. So what do these games look like in that environment? And, you know, and the one thing I want to give up my input on this is that he didn't say, I'm not making big blockbuster games.
No,
he just said, we don't want to do what they're doing. I get asked for these games, but we don't want to make a clone of this. And, you know, one of the things that was interesting is, remember when he did the Tomb Raider thing, right? He got Tomb Raider to try to challenge Uncharted 4. Like, they got that year exclusivity, and it was kind of to do something. And that was the last time they did something like that. And, you know, kind of backfired because stupid Square Enix was like, it's coming to PlayStation next year, like when everybody was asking.
Right, but they announced it too soon.
That kind of backfired on him. And maybe that's why he just don't do this anymore. But the whole reason why they locked down that Tomb Raider exclusivity was to kind of counter their Uncharted, like and you see that kind of transcended throughout the generation, where Uncharted was pitted against Tomb Raider. Like, every time it will be like Xbox kind of fans kind of gravitate to to Tomb Raider as their Uncharted, and all because he initiated that in the beginning. Like, it was pretty interesting that they tried to do that, and Uncharted wound up getting delayed too. So Tomb Raider just had that. But I agree. Like, they don't have to make clones, because as soon as you make a clone, it's going to be compared to that, and now you're in trouble because now you got to match that. But, I think that they should be making big box, like big games, and I do think that they need to be kind of showing confidence in their games. I feel like everything that they show everything they display is very lack of confidence in their games. And I feel like he's very confident about xCloud and playing on phones, but when it comes down to games, he always takes a step back and just kind of goes like, oh, well, 2 billion game is like, not using games as an example, not kind of saying, hey, Hellblade 2 is going to be a great game that's going to be coming this year. Like, that's a narrative game, like a Sony game, like, something along those lines. Like, you have some stuff. Like, why don't you use those examples? Instead, you cower and just be like, well, we're different. We're different. Like, I don't think that's very confident.
Sorry, Jess. Everborn, do you understand why what Enrique is saying is different than what you were saying?
If he's saying specifically in that genre, then yes, that's different from what I'm saying. What the way, because what BRAP said was these big budget games, and that's the language he used. He didn't say third person narrative driven games. So if he's specifically talking about that,
well, he did.
Then I agree.
He said, we're not asking for a guy with a beard with a son that's running around shooting arrows. Like, he was very clear. We don't want a clone. We just want something that's going to wow us.
But you, as you should. And my only point is his article, the article that everyone is sort of making this argument off of, is the title itself. We don't want Sony AAA Blockbuster Games. And then everybody kind of leaves out that he was only saying, I don't want to make a copy of a game. And that's right, it. But the larger point
started, though.
Yeah, but the larger point is still true. I think they are overly, and I've said this many times, they are overly leveraged themselves on developers that specialize in first-person games. And there are a lot of Xbox gamers, including myself, that want third-person single-player games. I rarely play online, right? I'm not interested. This is why I'm not getting Battlefield 2042. And you can look at how good I was in the Halo beta to know that online is not my thing, right?
Yeah, I can see why. You want to avoid human experience.
Exactly. Right. So again, if we're all on that point, that I don't care if you let your developers do whatever they want, there should be a third-person game that you invest as much as you invest in Gears or Halo with that level of production value, then 100%. And Hellblade may not be that, because again, Hellblade is a small team, and I don't think you should pit, or I don't think they should even mention in any of their marketing or interviews that this is going to be our God of War, because then you're setting up Ninja Theory for failure.
Yes.
Right. So if we're on that page that we're talking about, why doesn't Xbox have any clear third-person narrative games, and why haven't they even announced
That's not
them?
what we're saying. No, we're not. We're saying, we're asking, very similar to what Jez said, why isn't Phil either committing to giving fans what they want or just letting the games do the talking? Why is he hedging, hemming and hawing? Well, we want to be different. So on. Nobody asked you none of that stuff. Like, at this point, it just sounds like damage control.
Yeah.
I feel like, and again, I don't, my opinion, I think he's just kind of managing the expectations of what people should expect moving forward. And I don't think that's, again, it's not a bad thing. It's different. It's maybe the direction they're heading. You know, I hear a lot about 3 billion gamers. That's kind of, when I hear that, I think of Apple Arcade. Again, that's not a knock against Xbox, but look, they are a for-profit company. They're going to do whatever it is they do that makes sense for them to make the most amount of money. And if going this direction makes them the most amount of money, then so be it. That's fine. You know, at that point, if they're not giving me what I want, then I have a choice to make, just like everyone else. But what I'm not going to do, though, is I'm not going to make excuses for a company, or I'm not going to sit there. Like, I don't understand why, like, and I said this before we went live, like, like this idea that you can't offer constructive criticism to a company, like somehow that's a bad thing. Like you have to agree with everything they do and everything they say. No, if you have constructive criticism to offer about a company because maybe they're not doing something that you want them to do, there's nothing wrong with that. But I see that in the community all the time where, oh my God, I can't believe you're complaining. You always hate on Xbox, blah, blah, blah. No, if you have something to say it. You're a consumer. There's nothing wrong with that. I gotta get some
my biggest thing is like the article itself. The points that you are making, Code and Jez, those still stand. I'm just saying this article is not indicative of that. And that has been my whole point this whole time. If you read the article, if you go back and read the WCCF Tech article,
they're the ones. You're right. They pulled out that bullshit headline out of that article because they didn't even do the interview. They just pulled that bullshit headline out of
they
there.
got it
like
from
he don't want to
Games
make
Radar.
Sony game. Exactly. That's why I went to Games Radar and read actually what he said because WCC that was a bullshit headline. Definitely. I totally agree
nothing about Blockbuster. Like that was literally all that was WCCF Tech getting clicks.
Getting
and they
paid.
Absolutely.
That was them working. Working in the streets. That's them.
Yep.
Some working the streets.
That shit worked.
If you remember, Everborn, I started off my part with that isn't what he said, but it's funny and it's getting the most attention, so let's run with it. But like that's clearly not what he said. Like I led with that. So we are in agreement that the article doesn't match what he said.
Okay, that's my only point. And then I do believe that they are making AAA games, but I understand that people need to wait and see that because of their track record for the past few years.
They're definitely making AAA games. I don't even think there's a wait and see on that. That's definitely happening. They have Bethesda. Bethesda only really makes AAA games.
I mean, Bethesda's
that's under them. You know, even outside of that, we're just
saying, are they going to be bangers? That is
right.
Yeah,
the kind of game they're making is what the discussion is, and not just because like anything is AAA. I mean, I'm not that anything AAA, but any old game could be AAA and not be a good. They
said
game.
State of Decay 2 was AAA all the way. Remember?
Oh boy, yeah, I remember that.
You know,
I think
that wasn't they. That was the whoever was running social media for Sunday Lab probably is working in McDonald's right now. They had no idea what AAA was. They had sure AAA all the way, and then the next day they was like, "Chris, come here."
You see that job application at McDonald's? I got you a job application. You'll be flipping burgers now.
Hey guys, let me get these let me get these super chats real quick. I'm behind on super chats. We got a $5 super chat with Gaming with Persona. It says, you know what's funny about Phil Spencer's statement? It comes off as if he is taking creative control from developers. What if they want to make it?
Exactly.
That's a great point.
Exactly. That's why I said Persona, my Pegasus brother. That's why I started out with
Pegasus brother.
He's not even supposed to be having any say-so in this. According to him, they giving the devs full creative freedom. So how would he even know that he don't want to make a clone? Like, what does it matter what he wants? If the devs have full creative freedom, then that's all there is to it.
Yeah. That's how they acquired them.
Yep.
Exactly.
That was in the
that was a sales pitch.
Them.
Yeah, it was a sales pitch.
pitch.
Yeah, we got B Staples with a $2 super chat. Thank you, B. He says Todd Howard makes Blockbuster Games, BRAP. Thank you for that. Not Fallout 76.
76.
Yeah, I think that's all. Is that all the super chats? Oh no, hold on. Oh man, I missed a bunch. Hold on. Yeah. All right, let me go to. Here we go.
Smokes 76 as.
No, we got one before that. We got Smokes 901 with. Yeah, Smokes with a $70 czar says, can we all just agree that Phil Spencer needs to stop with all these interviews? Talks too much on the subject. I don't care what kind of games they make, just the quality be on par. It's a great point there, Smokes.
Bro.
Okay, well,
Smokes.
Hold on.
I said that in January.
I said that 2 years ago. Phil Ness, the origin of Phil Ness.
Stop doing all these interviews.
So here's the thing, right? And this is true. Since we got Everboard being completely realistic, I will as well. So keep in mind, gamers, that when Phil Spencer does a lot of these interviews, oftentimes he's speaking more to investors than he is to gamers. And a lot of what he says, if you view it from the point of view that investors are wary of the Xbox division, So, for example, when have you had the CEO of Microsoft come out and say, we stand with Office 365 or we stand with Microsoft Word? Never happens.
No, he doesn't.
Never happens, right? But the CEO twice now has come out in support of Xbox itself. Why? Because internally among investors, there is some concern. I don't think it's going to ultimately be anything, but there is some concern. And so therefore, a lot of
gaming. There's not a lot of ROI coming out of all the money that's being spent at this time.
Right. So my only point to that is often when Phil is speaking, he is speaking to investors, not necessarily gamers. And if you look at it from the point of view of an investor, he is telling them this is how we're going to differentiate ourselves in the market, so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. And if you look at it through those colored glasses, you'll get a different interpretation. And of course, it's more fun to poke at Everborn the way we're doing than to actually be completely honest about what he was trying to communicate.
Oh man, Cole, are you saying we treating Everborn the way those bots treated him in Halo Infinite? All right,
wow.
Were they teabagging him? Was that the glitch? Were they giving him teabags?
The glitch.
Did he get the glitch?
Hey, Jeff, maybe.
Everborn's gameplay caused the glitch.
Teabagging you, that's a glitch.
The AI in those boxes was like, we killing this guy this bad, man. I thought I saw a teabag over there.
Like, get the glitch. Who drew those fuzzy balls on there? That's a glitch.
All right, let me get these super chats. Eagles fan 76 with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Eagles fan. Says he said he wasn't going to make a 1-for-1 with PlayStation, which is third-person games. They are making a variety of games, possible high quality. We will see. Thank you, Eagles fan.
Not true, Eagles fan. He was very clear. If you read the whole thing in context, if you read the question that was asked to him and what he responded to, he was being very clear. And again, variety would include some of those games that you're saying he's not going to make. So again, like we've said already, they're not mutually exclusive. So he can make those games and continue to diversify. There was no reason for him to make that statement to gamers. Plenty of reason to make that statement to investors.
Yeah. Eagles fans 76 with another $5 super chat says people trying to turn this into PlayStation AAA banger narrative that Phil wants to make what they call Game Pass filler. Okay, guy, great show. Heading to ILP after. And I think that is
Rice Eater 79 has a $2 super chat.
Yep, here we go. Rice Eater 79 $2 super chat says Phil also said Crackdown 3 AAA and sits besides Halo. He did say that.
It is Crackdown 3 is certainly AAA. But
they spent a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
That makes it
AAA.
AAA.
Don't come cheap.
Yeah, I mean, so AAA really only dictates like budget and team size, right?
Yep. Budget. What else? Those
and I forgot that. What was the name of this? The studio that did Crackdown 3 just got acquired.
Sumo Digital.
Sumo Digital.
Yeah, Sumo Digital is
like
they're
1
a
billion
huge developer. Yeah,
they have a lot of
there's a lot. They have a lot. They're a big team, so that's
and they made
not
the Little
small
Big Planet.
They did, yeah. Game. They did Little Big Planet, yeah.
Yeah, AAA just wasn't, it just wasn't great. It wasn't a great game.
It wasn't a good game at all, yeah. Well, look, it is almost 1 o'clock, gentlemen. We'll go ahead and wrap up the show. First of all, I want to thank everyone in the live chat. Appreciate y'all coming through, hanging out with us. Please hit that like button. We have over 180 people watching, and only 73 likes. We got 7 downvotes. But yeah, hit that like button.
Those all came because of me. I'm guaranteed to get you some dislikes, sir.
Yeah, that's funny. And if you're new to the show, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you are alerted when we go live. But I want to give also a big shout out to my guests this evening. My guest this afternoon, Optimus Code. Always a pleasure, sir. I don't understand this Pegasus Nation stuff, man.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
These ponies, they ain't Pegasus. They're trying to rebrand themselves.
Yeah, right.
When you walk on the street, there's a click-clocking sound that happens. You are a pony.
They rebranded, dude.
When the PS5 released, we all ascended, sir.
You're sending above the clouds, right? Above the clouds.
Grow wings. Y'all got drunk and thought y'all grew wings, but y'all didn't grow wings.
Yeah, but no, Cole, man. Always a pleasure, man.
He got the worst version of games, boy.
No, it doesn't. You stop with that nonsense.
PC is where the origination happens, where the innovation happens, man. You should be happy that PC makes games that eventually come to your platform.
You came over to my show yesterday trying to turn that into a PC show yesterday. I listened to all 3 hours of that yesterday.
And people loved it. They loved it.
People did love it.
Listen, man.
They loved it.
We got to put a stop to that next week. We're not even going to mention personal computers at all next week. God,
I'm gonna make sure your co-host does.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
My son asked me yesterday what PC meant, and when his friend was talking, I was like, "It means penis collector."
Oh my gosh!
It's definitely time to go now.
We got to end the show now. Jez is all out of pocket.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cole. Let everyone know they can find you if you want to be found, man.
Oh man, people know where to find me. If they don't, they'll figure it out.
Yep, this is true. Code, always a pleasure, man. Thank you. We got Jez. We got live from the Grindhouse, Jez77. Jez, man. Great to have you all, man. First time guest on BRAP. Long overdue. Great to have you all, man. Let everyone know where they can find you.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, thank you. While the Pegasus is flying above the clouds, Xbox is in the clouds, the Grindhouse is right on the ground, baby. And we are on Monday nights at 8:30. But you can follow me over and subscribe to the channel. We're growing the Grindhouse there at Jez7780 GMG. And hit that like button on your way out. And thank everybody. Thank you for the invite, man. Awesome panel.
Absolutely. And we got Evanborn Saga. Ever, man, always a pleasure, sir. Stop with the PC slander, man. Or, maybe we need to swap PCs, man. I heard you got like a 3080 or something you don't use, but always a pleasure to have you on, man.
Yeah. It's a 3080, i9 10900K. NVMe 4.0, all of that jazz. And I rarely use it, but I did have to play Cyberpunk on it.
Plays Minesweeper on it.
Was like.
And he would rather play on compromised hardware. Let me stop.
In the comfort of my own living room, like God intended.
You can move that thing to your living room and connect it to your TV. I don't want to.
No, I'm not doing all of that.
I'm not doing all of that.
You gotta get a wireless keyboard and a mouse, and then you gotta, hooking PCs up to TV. Nah.
It's not the move.
I mean, that is doable, but then
it's doable.
You work on it from your office. You have to keep relocating. That ain't
it's doable, but it's.
Hey, Everboy, is there TV? Is there TV by your PC?
I actually have a 43-inch 4K 144 hertz monitor.
Oh, he's not going to TV then from there.
But it's not as good as the OLED. It's not as good as the OLED. What you want me to tell you? And
which OLED you got? Which OLED you got?
I got the CX.
The C10.
C10, sure. 65.
If you said the C1, then I would be like, okay. But,
yeah, the Windows taskbar will burn in on it.
See, there you go. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. This is a prime example. That is a micro.
Get you the M28U. That's what you need to get you an M28U. You'll be good to go, bro.
This is a microcosm of how PC gamers look at things. Slow-mo was perfectly okay with getting off of work at the end of the day, unplugging all the 8 wires in the back of the PC, putting it on a hand cart, dragging the PC all the way over to the living room, getting a wireless mouse and keyboard, plugging everything back in, and said, "Oh, you can plug it into the TV. It's not that hard. Come on, man."
I have a desk. It's L-shaped, like how the bots treated you, right? And so I have a desk in my office. Oh my God. The left side of my desk is my PC setup with my dual monitors, and I got my Xbox Series S and PS5 in here. On that side of the desk, on the right side of the desk, I got my dual monitors and my cradle for work.
Let me ask you a question. When was the last time
to leave to do games?
When was the last time you left your room?
What?
When was the last time office? It's probably been 4 days. But anyway.
Wow. That's crazy.
Real quick before he finishes up, do you see how Everborn took something as simple as the PC, putting it in your living room, and turned it to this whole big ordeal and made it so insurmountable? That's how them bots do. They will twist anything.
SSDs in a PlayStation. There you go.
That is countermeasure Z 3, 4. You know, in their body language. It's just like, oh, I don't know how to answer this.
Dude, heaven forbid they introduce a screwdriver. Oh goodness, we'll be in trouble then.
Jesus.
What's this do?
All right, well, Everborn, let me where they can find you, man.
Yeah. Everbornsaga.com. That's the #1 place you can find me because we make these amazing comic books that they're all it's a hybrid of Western style and manga. We are 4 chapters into Prince of Arcadia. We just released Ariel's Adventure Chapter 1, and we're getting ready to release the Redlands very soon. It is 4 separate stories. It's like the MCU, but if it was a manga and fantasy. So 4 series, all following different characters, telling the story from their vantage point, and it all will come together at some point. So check that out. We got a lot going on, more things to come. And Everborn Saga on Twitter and Xbox and PlayStation and Steam and some random numbers on Nintendo. But every Thursday at 8:00 we do On the Reel, me and Kay Asante, where we talk about TV and movies.
Hey, everybody, no cap, man. I checked that out and I ended up learning so much.
Yeah, me too.
That is really a good show. They talk about movies and pop culture stuff, and in that realm, Everborn actually knows what he's talking about. So
shit! In that realm,
I love it.
And then on every Saturday at 10 a.m., it is me and Kay Asante on Kay Asante's channel where we do the Gaming Circle podcast, where we talk about all these things, but we have a little more sense than Code does. It was a little PC centric this past Saturday because Slow-Mo filled in for me because I had to spend some time with the in-laws came into town from the Dominican Republic, and we went out together and we did some things. So that was fun. So I appreciate you, Slow-Mo, but I do not appreciate all that PC talk. I will not have it.
They loved it. They loved it.
I hope that you can come back. I hope that you can come back so we can all be on the show.
We definitely will. We're gonna bring the homie Forte with us too. It's gonna be like a DPS / Gaming Circle crossover. It's gonna be awesome.
And Code. I don't know if Kay has somebody lined up for next week, but I hope you can come by because I want to have an actual intellectually honest conversation so that our audience can understand the tech behind the SSD in both systems if you are interested in having that discussion. It's not about which one's better and which one's worse, just to understand how the drives work mixed with the interfaces and all those other things behind it, velocity architecture, all those things. So if I would love to discuss that with you on next week's show. And that's it, man. Everborn Saga everywhere.
Awesome. And last but not least, we got my man Slow-Mo Backslap Double Kill. What's up, Slow-Mo?
Like James Brown. He the hardest working man in podcast.
Yeah, Slow-Mo. Yeah, man. Thank you for coming in, man. Appreciate it. And by the way, Slow-Mo, that last comment, L-shaped like what the bots gave you. That might be one of your best zingers ever, man.
Hey, Everborn. It's all love, bro.
I did not have a comeback for that.
Hey, you can't because the evidence was in the pot. Stop. Yo, Enrique, just glad to just come on and chop it up with you guys. I got love for everybody on this panel. All these guys are great content creators. Check out Jez stuff. Check out Code stuff. Everborn is like, man, the stuff that he's working on. I love to see. I wish On the Real wasn't on at the time that it was. That because I don't get a chance to fully enjoy it before we go live with DPS. But we all are doing great content. Check out all these folks and what they're working on. Myself, I got my channel Slow-Mo Backslap. It's been mostly recently just the podcast, but I'm kind of tooling up with some other stuff that's going to be kind of like mini documentary kind of style stuff. So look out for that in the future. I've also been doing, because I play so many games, I figured like why not stream myself playing some of these games and just kind of chop it up with people. So I've been doing a lot of streaming on Twitch, and I'm probably gonna go live at some point today. I'm gonna try out Hades because I haven't played that yet. Or I'm going to try out actually Psychonauts because I actually never played the first Psychonauts. So one of those games I'm going to be playing for the first time. So come on through, say what's up. We'll see how it goes. But have a great day, have a great weekend, and above all this other foolishness, actually play some games, people. I know there is, people love to argue and talk about games, but it seems to be in short supply of people actually playing them. So, make it a little different. Actually play something for once.
Great point there, Slow-Mo.
Yeah.
And again, everyone, thank you all for stopping by, hanging out with us. Hey, go and check out the Iron Lords podcast. They are live right now at 1 p.m. They'll go on for a couple hours, but definitely check them out. Always a good show. And we'll be back on BRAP Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Everyone, play some video games. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We'll catch you all on Wednesday. Peace.